when a group of friends are talking finances at a party and they're really engrossed in that, they're taking various IPOs, names and all of that. I sort of come out of that circle, move away from it, because it is intimidating. My last memory is that mummy is like opening that locker and money is in there. That is mutual fund, that is SIP.
Growing up, my parents have taught me money management, where even while in this last years of school, first year of college, second through college, when I was at home, they would have like an envelope where they put some 2,000 rupees for the month.
And I decided that I don't want to get into a regular job, or maybe I don't want to get married right now. So then my parents asked me, oh, you don't want to do these things, so what about your savings? I'm like, what? Like now you're asking me what about savings? Nobody asked me back in school, college.
Parents, they are extremely careful about including their children in grave financial matters. Growing up, I think that didn't happen to me. I mean, I wasn't really a part of these discussions, and had I been, I would probably have known more as compared to what I do now.
Okay, so this week the much talked about Nykaa IPO came into the picture, and it's one of the latest in a slew of IPOs that's been hitting the market. In all of this, personal finance is one of the key buzzwords that we keep hearing around us. Personal finance, invest, cryptocurrency, all these finance terms. And yet, not all of us are quite familiar with it. We're not taught these at any point in our education. So I wanted to know how you guys, what is finance to you? Like, when did you start saving, for instance? So Kabir, maybe you could go first.
We go first. Saving. The first thing that I learned about saving was back in school, economics, propensity of saving. Your income goes up, so does your saving. But for that, you need to have an income also. Unfortunately, income started happening little later in my life. So from there, that saving element started to come in. But save करने के लिए कुछ होना भी चाहिए. But you're right. My first relationship with saving per se was I would get some money from my parents or of a festival, my grandparents, and I would save on it. However, I would constantly think about what I need to buy, what I don't need to buy, weigh the pros and cons constantly. Maybe sometimes not end up buying anything, sometimes throwing the whole thing away. But that's when I first started having one Eid or let's say Diwali. That's just right around the corner as well. So again, some money this time probably have to consider. But what do you do?
I have this extremely different experience. When they say, like personally for me, you hand me a book, I can read it, I can analyze it, I can also, tell you both the sides of the story. Same is for so many of the news articles that we read growing up. But I feel like there's this problem with our schools and colleges. They never brought it in us, like the whole habit of saving or instilling this habit of, if the money management or all of these day-to-day money matters, they never brought it in. And that is probably why I think I struggled with it, because I never knew, it wasn't discussed. And because saving, I feel it's a habit. It gets instilled in you and you start learning it, just like maths or when you read and write. So it's not like an innate skill. It has to be taught. So I think I really struggled growing up. And for somebody who entered in the real world, like they said just now, I haven't really saved. I'm not a financially independent person. Yes.
Okay, I think for me, my parents used to actually have like a piggy bank. Me and my younger sister, both had like pink colored piggy banks. And we put in like coins, or like whenever mommy papa went and we had this, larger coins to the, and we would always put that in, and we would always told that one day you're going to break that and you're going to do whatever you want with it. And it was such an allure of that, just the fact that I can do whatever I want with that money. Maybe I'm just going to buy like a big bar of chocolate, but I can still do that, right? And I think that's where my saving thing started. But I think growing up, my parents have taught me money management, where even while in this last years of school, first year of college, second through college, when I was at home, they would have like an envelope where they put some 2,000 rupees for the month, and they'd say, this is for the month. Your travel, your food, your going out, everything is in this budget. Now you do whatever you want with it. We give it to you beginning of the month. You want to spend it in 2 days, live like a poor person the next 28 days, your wish. You want to even it out and use it consciously, that's also your wish. So I think that is how I learned how to manage my money, by sort of negotiating. Should I have chow mein in the canteen today, or should I not have that extra coke? So that's how I think.
I think I'm still learning how to save. It's been so many years I've been learning. very honest, the first time when I realized, I really need to save my money was when I wanted to get out of my parents' shadow. That after school, college, yes, whenever you need money, you go and ask them. You have pocket money, but even if you fall short, you'll ask them. You make excuses that this happened, or then there's always Rakhi or Vishal or something or the other, some festival. I think there's something. I mean, I don't know, but Indian festivals always have this tradition of giving women money on the festivals like Rakhi, Diwali, Dussehra. I think that's the only saving and financial thing that as Indians we women are taught. Because when I actually went outside in the world, when I decided that I don't want to get into a regular job, or maybe I don't want to get married right now. So then my parents asked me, "Oh, you don't want to do these things, so what about your savings?" I'm like, "What? Like now you're asking me what about savings?" Nobody asked me back in school, college, but now if I want to choose a separate career option, all of a sudden everybody's talking to me about savings. And I think that is when everything entered my head that no, I too have to start my savings, because otherwise I will always be dependent on somebody or the other. So that is how I started saving money now. That is very, very recently I learned about them. All my friends were getting into crypto because it was the in thing back then, I think a couple of years ago. So then I was like, yes, I need to start studying what are mutual funds, what is crypto, and whatever little money I make, even if I want to spend, then I started doing the R&D. Like if I spend so much money here, maybe I'll save half and grow that and then buy the bigger things in life.
Absolutely, I think this is where I want to come in, because as parents, they are extremely careful about including their children in great financial matters. Growing up, I think that didn't happen to me. I mean, I wasn't really a part of these discussions, and had I been, I would probably have known more as compared to what I do now. And now I really am extremely concerned about how I need to manage my money. And I think that is something that kind of also is something that's only prevalent here in our society. The parents, as much as they're careful about their children, they do not wish to discuss safety problems, safety.
Yeah.
But I think that is something that kind of needs
Money
to
is
change
not
now.
I think the discussions around money is what is not happening, because I started investing this year, and it was only like beginning of this year, and I went to all my friends, and my parents said that we don't know much about, we've not invested in the market, so you go ahead and do it however you want. And I have independent working women friends, independent working male friends, all living outside home, doing their own thing. I went to all of them and I asked them, what are you doing with your money? And it was fascinating that all my women friends told me, yeah, we sent it to my dad, like 7,000 a month I sent to my dad. Okay, what does your dad do with it? He invested something. Where does he invest? I don't know. How you take it out? I don't know. I'm like, he'll give it to you if you have an emergency. Sure, we bank on that. What if you want to go on a trip? It's your money. You should be able to take it out. Why don't you know where it is?
Interestingly, this happens to me as well. I feel like, growing up, the only investment or putting the money aside as a concept came to me in the form of a fund or in the form of a fixed deposit. I do know, and the interesting part is that I still, growing up, didn't know that it was on my name because I didn't manage it. My mom used to do it growing up. So that is how financial matters are in families, especially in India.
And what I feel is that, I'm walking down a mall, a street or something, and even right below our office, we have these people who are selling credit cards. They want to sign you up for a credit card. They say, sir, आपके पास SBI का credit card है? I said, नहीं है मेरे पास. Sir, आपको चाहिए क्या? And maybe I want it because I have no credit card on me. But I'm so, I have no words. I'm at a loss for words because I don't know what's going to entail me signing up that form, what's going to happen, that credit limit, when it's going to happen. You were talking about that cryptocurrency, now you have SIPs, you've got cricketing rock stars who are coming in saying, भाई सोच समझ के लगाना पैसा, लगाना सही है, अरे ये तो सही है, mutual funds सब कर रहे हैं, everybody's doing it. But my oldest memory is, which you also brought up, how all these angles and facets are so intimidating as well. It's like when a group of friends are talking finances at a party, and they're really engrossed in that, they're taking various IPOs, names and all of that. I sort of come out of that circle, move away from it because it is intimidating. My last memory is that mummy is like opening that locker and money is in there. That is mutual fund, that is SIP, all of that is there. Now these days my friends are talking about health insurances, they're talking about car insurances, life insurances, all of that is at play. All of that. And the minute you're talking to somebody, a friend, let's say Divya has an health insurance, she knows exactly where she's putting her money. You already feel so scared of this person. I mean, they know so much about finances, which I should know too. There's a little jealousy there as well.
And the big thing here is, which I was getting to, is that while my women friends didn't know any of this, my male friends knew exactly where their money was. they knew, we were like, yeah, we discuss this
Yeah.
as parties. We go to a bar with our friends and we discuss money. And I'm like, women don't meet up and discuss money. Why aren't we
But-
discussing money? Like,
Do you think us as a generation should also evolve? Because, yes, we're dependent on our parents and friends and family, but we should see that the culture of investment and finances has changed so drastically in the last 5-7 years, especially when, you have alternate career options. There's so much freelance happening. There is so much, everybody's into a startup, right?
Yeah.
For all we know that ever since donkey year, or our parents, friends and families have always asked to invest in FD. Short return, pakka investment. But what we don't understand is, yes, the FD gives you 5% interest. Have you ever bothered to check the inflation rate? It's 6.8%. So even if I'm saving, I'm putting all that money in an FD account, after 1 year, I have spent more than I've saved. So it doesn't really make any sense, and we don't even bother about our own money. So fine, while we blame that schools and colleges and friends and families, women, men, they've not taught us, but why aren't we, as an institute, more careful about our own money?
See, that's exactly my point. Like, she just said that didn't make sense to her, that she was putting in money and not saving enough. But none of that made sense to me right now, because these percentages, inflation rate, all of that, already I'm like, okay, I'm listening to you now. But I would love to know this. So there is definitely room in society for, to learn, to upskill themselves with this thing.
And I think it has to come through baby steps. Like, while
I think it'll automatically come when you say, like I said, no, if I simplify it, that today you're making 50 rupees. Everybody is interested in making money, right? But tomorrow you'll make 100 rupees. The moment you say that, the line, it's easier said and done, then you automatically realize, yeah man, I will make money, then everybody wants to make it. It's just that people don't make it interesting. Otherwise, if everybody falls into this, then how are, the agencies are going to make money? They're not going to make money because, you're dependent on all of them.
precisely why. But the thing is that
where do you think, however, is when people should start? Because there is while we understand a little bit maybe, and you're saying there is a long way to go.
Yeah.
How would you hope change comes in? Where do you think things should be done here on? We're at midway of our careers, starting off. Where do you think change should come in? How would you hope that change comes in?
I do have a small little game plan in my head that I've been thinking about it, and let me think out loud as well, you folks. Don't judge me. So the thing with this is, my friends, they downloaded a couple of applications for the stocks trading and all that, IPOs and all that. So I was thinking maybe understand a little bit about the history of the IPO, how it works, how it functions. There's also a demat account that comes in. सबसे पहले पता है यार बहुत काम है, too much
paper.
But okay, I did it this year. It is all online. It takes 2 minutes to do.
But there you have it, it's all online. Guys, go ahead.
Yeah. Because digital has made everybody's life so easy. There are so many apps. You don't have to do anything. Instead of playing a game on your phone, that's how I started. That's how I started cryptocurrency. My friends told me it's just a game. Whatever you play, the bars go high, down. Just play with 10, 20 rupees just for fun. You any which ways are spending so much time in poker and all those things, right? Do that and then you'll get the hang of it. And it's very easy. You just see the chart. It's normal common sense. You see somebody growing. If automatically they've grown too much, then there is something. And very, very basics, and applications are made. Everything
I think
so easy and graphical.
another real nice thing that happened to me was this scam 1992.
Yeah, man.
Because I watched that,
Shorts,
and
yes.
whenever that theme song played, I would stand like this, and just we can't take it. That bull and bear wala concept all came in. I'm like, maybe this is interesting stuff.
However, to come back to your question, Ruksha, how it has to really start. But for me, I honestly didn't understand a lot of these things, right? All of these money management things, or where to invest. Is it the right time to invest? For me personally, all my financial decisions have delayed. Why? Because I probably never discussed about these things, and I was never curious enough. And why that happened is because I never got that environment where things came to me naturally, or they were discussed properly, extensively. And how that has to change is for people to realize that these decisions can't just be imposed on people, or you can't just tell your children to come be part of a discussion which involves financial decisions, but you also need to take these baby steps of instilling this habit of saving in them, telling them to focus on, maybe try and pay your own student loans, or try to earn early in life, or focus on savings. As like, if we are so careful and so concerned about what clothes we wear, what we eat, and where we are buying things from, we might as well be careful about where we are going to invest and where it is that our money goes. That's equally important, and that's going to make a significant impact in our lives in future.
My entire journey has just been like asking friends, because I think parents is people you trust blindly. At least I trust blindly with when it comes to money. I go to them, I know that they're not going to give me bad advice. But literally nobody else I could trust. No news article, no person. And then I turned to like, okay, I'm going to let one decision I take by 10 people, friends of mine who are in finance, so that at least I'm convinced that I'm taking the right decision.
So considering you're, out of all four of us, you're the one that's the most well versed with what baby step to take, how would you suggest something?
It was very simple. Like initial 1 year of earning,
No, you tell me. I'm asking you.
Yeah.
How do I invest my money? What baby steps should I take?
Should you take? Right. So first, set a goal. What are you trying to achieve? Right? Are you just saving as a retirement, so that one day I will need this money? It's a 30-40 year plan. Or is it a short term thing? I need to buy a car in 3 years. I need to buy a house in 10 years. What is the goal? I need to buy a laptop in 1 year. Right? Something like, set a goal for yourself. You have a goal in place. Let's suppose that goal entails you to save 1 lakh rupees in 2 years' time. Then go forward. You will find a lot of resources online. You can discuss with friends, people who are in finance, of what are the different ways you can achieve this goal. And they will tell you what are the different ways to achieve this goal. Mutual funds, of course, is a safe idea, because there is a fund manager who manages everything. Stocks and shares, a little more risky. With cryptocurrency, a little more risky.
Risky.
Yeah, it is that, right? And then based on your risk appetite, based on how you perceive, what is your risk appetite is an individual thing. And then you sort of decide that where do I put my money? And what is the returns that you're looking for? You might not be aiming for a 100% return that I want to double this money in 2 years. You might just be looking for maybe short 10% de do, short 20% de do. That is okay, right? So then you have complete different funds for all of this, which come with different risks, different goals, different time periods, different focus areas, and it is really, now with the number of applications out there.
But that's also what is scary. No, there are so many applications out there. You were talking about crypto, which is again a very lucrative. It looks so nice. Because the thing's called cryptocurrency. It's also digital already.
See, the thing is, you might make a mistake. Fair. You're asking me if I, choose a application which doesn't pay off, right? Even that is a learning.
Of course, every step is going to be a learning.
Right.
Provided we get the right medium, then we also start learning young, because that's not something that's going to come just.
It won't. So what did I do? Like I said, I talked to 5 friends. 3 of them were using one application. So I was like, majority, let me use that because they are using it, right? So that's how I picked it. It's worked out well for me so far. But then even if it doesn't for you, you can change it, right? There's no.
And if you want a very, very easy thing, go to an agent which your friends already have, or your parents. Tell them that monthly I'll just give away 15,000 whatever money. Let's put this in my mutual fund. And then you see it. And when you see it, like first 3-4 months they're doing it for you. And if you see a pattern, which company is making you earn more money and which company is making you earn lesser money, then you keep transferring that. But it's just that we have to start somewhere.
But what if there's somebody out there who does not want to trade per se, but still, invest in the right place?
So, like I said, depending on your risk appetite, funds are made that way. So there is also, you don't have to always invest in funds, like you can invest in government bonds. You can invest in various other things, like there are a bunch of tools out there which will give you more returns than an FD, but maybe lesser returns than an equity fund. But that's all on you. First, you have to just take the plunge.
And basically understand yourself also whilst you're at it. And the first few months, your initial phase, I don't know, months or years, depending on what and how you plan out your investment, that's going to be crucial. And like you said, if you bring in an agent into the picture, then you shadow that agent. You really understand, what the person is doing, where that money is going, because you want to earn earn money, and like you pointed out, you also want to get out of your parents' shadow also,
Yeah.
for which being financially independent is equally important, and it's a learning curve also, it's a learning
You
step.
get more confidence.
About yourself,
When you know that you have a bank balance, you've saved enough, you can go out in the world with more confidence.
However, interestingly, the other side of the spectrum is, for me, the whole revelation to the world of finance came through Instagram. Now, I'm extremely active on Instagram. So for me, looking at these reels where finance influencers have come into picture all of a sudden, I never saw them, like, let's say 6 months back or even a year back.
Even they're learning on the job. It's not like they knew it 6 months ago.
And I am thinking, these people have made a career out of imparting financial knowledge, and I'm like, in such interesting ways. And I kind of envy these people. Who are these people? Like, I don't know about finance, and they're making a career out of just telling people how to invest in the right ways, in the most interesting ways, and by dancing, by acting and doing all of those different things on
Because
Instagram.
what you need is actually better there, because you have a link right at the bottom which says click here, and you can directly go to that thing and download that application.
It's become more easier for our generation, because, like I said, we don't like paperwork, we don't want to, like everybody's like everybody is so much.
Like buying a share at one point would involve paperwork, going somewhere and cashing, etc. Now it's one.
Let's not forget that account creation.
all clicks. It's all
So that is time management, which is again another concern of mine. Is time. How much time do you give into this
it's automated.
investment? No, but you think about it. You have to look at those stocks now. ऊपर क्या जा रहा है, नीचे
So you
क्या
don't
जा रहा है.
have to. There is, again, it depends on what. So once you start investing, you realize what kind of an investor you are. Do you want to be involved? Is it something that really generates curiosity in yourself? Then yes. Then you check out what IPO, what shares, what stocks.
And
But you
once
might just be like, no,
yeah.
मेरे को नहीं करना ये सब. फंड में दे दो, फंड मैनेजर कर रहा है, बस मैं देती जाऊंगी,
That's the
ऑटोमेट
kind of
कर दो.
investor you become.
It's who you are.
It's how your nature is, right? Because once if you start generating interest, you will understand that if the more time you spend, the more money you make.
Yeah.
Right? So it's just your personality, how you go around it. And then you can calculate easily. Like if you go to a day job 9 to 5, how much are you making? And if you're just sitting at home and trading all day,
How
and
much
understanding how much are you making?
Have any one of you tried that? Sit at home all day and
I
trade?
made more money in cryptocurrency than I made like working for 2 years freelance.
Well, you got that.
Yeah, that's how I am. Like it's the future. Like it's the future. Like imagine if I want to buy something in Finland for $5, I pay the same amount of INR. There is no conversion rate. There is no transfer fee, and there is no government taxes. Why will I not choose that option? It's as simple as that for me. And I was sold when I was told that there is no transaction fees and you don't have, and it's immediate, it's online, it's within half a second. I can buy it without paying any extra fees, and I don't even have to feel like inferior than somebody earning in dollars.
But I think the problem here is that you have put that across very nicely. I don't think other people are able to do that. Explain it to the layman in layman terms. That's what we need.
Yeah, I think maybe it's also because people are mostly scared. We've been taught like it's money. Oh my God, be scared. Like if you have, if there's a fear. Like immediately that if a person is walking with money in their bag or nothing at all in their bag, it's just there in your body language.
There are too many jargons that have been, related with all of these aspects. That had it been for somebody who would have probably decoded them for us in a simpler way, which is what we're missing out on. And had it been for somebody who would have done it for us, I think we would have been in a different place altogether.
Right, I think we can wrap up on that.
Yeah.
I think we've some of us have made some progress, some of us have quite a bit to learn. But here's hoping that we're better at it, no matter where we
Let's
start.
hope everybody starts investing now, man. Like seriously, it's about time that we learn investments and
And just manage. I just think managing money more than investments. It's about what you do with your money. Get your insurances in place. Get your investments in place. Get your savings in place. Do whatever it is to make sense of your money.
Absolutely. I think considering the youngsters now really are on the track and they want to invest more, but at times they might not be able to do it considering they might not have the right knowledge and they don't know the channels and the right ways. So I hope that is a gap that we're able to bridge.
Address. Absolutely.
At the same time, whilst we're talking about all of this, I hope that people that are watching this can also take inputs from this and become actually financially independent, because that's the need of the hour. That's what we need.
Yeah.
Our generation, the Generation Z, Y, Millennials. That's what
The
we
Gen
need right
Z,
now.
yeah.
Yeah.